pronounce that song.
Varolios.
Varolios! I feel like I gotta do that thing where you put your fingers together like the Italian guy. Like, it's a you, Varolios. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Welcome back, guys, to the JORD Invitational, day number 1. We're in the losers match of the European group. Somebody is about to get eliminated. We'll find out who's going to be in a moment. Spawning the northern spawn location, it's going to be the green Terran player, uThermal.
In the bottom position as the red Protoss, it's Welmu.
Okay, so he's going for a bit of cheese. I'm kind of really hoping... I mean, I love uThermal. I love watching uThermal. He's a fun player to cast. I mean, he's going to be playing the Dutch StarCraft League, which we'll be casting a little bit in the upcoming future, too. On one hand, like I can say, like, if this is cheese because he wants to make this work and this is a strategy he knows, great. I applaud this and I encourage it. But if there's something going on with uThermal today where he's just like, I didn't really want to play in this, I shouldn't have taken the invite, and I just want to move on with my day, well then, quite frankly, this sucks.
Yeah, we'll never know. Maybe he just really wants to practice his 2-racks. He looks this as an opportunity to practice, Rifkin.
Sure, sure. I mean, like, I'm not, sorry, let me just really explain. I'm not pointing fingers or trying to say that's the case. I'm just saying, like, there are some times where players do come into this and say, oh, you know what? There's more players in my group than I want to deal with. We've definitely experienced it in the past. But, I mean, it's the losers match. It's a risk. It's a bold risk, high risk, high reward. If this pays off, great. Problem is, Welmu knows what's up. Scouts the main. Kind of goes like, WTF. Where's your barracks, mate?
Very rude. Very rude for him. Well, this... I don't know if he wasn't getting a zealot, or if that was just so well timed that this is the zealot you would cancel anyways. I'm not sure, but the point is he's going to get a zealot. Where like the hope and dream is that you actually get like someone who goes even like Gateway, Nexus, then Cybernetic Core. Like that's like really good. Or even if they go for Cybernetic Core and then Nexus, maybe they cancel the zealot before they realize what's happening. Like that's all better, right? Not that you can't win if they do get a zealot. The zealot's not exactly like end all be all, but it certainly helps because then they have to be very careful about where they put down the bunker.
Well, 3 Marines should be able to deal with the Zealot. The problem, of course, comes into the Stalker, and more importantly, the Stalker picking off the SCV, trying to get that bunker on the high ground. I mean, it's a little more high stakes than TVZ, right? If you get that bunker on that high ground, you pretty much win the freaking game. Problem is, the SCVs are dead, and now it's just Marines to dance with. And sadly, I think with the Mothership Core and the Stalker coming out, these Marines are very limited on what they can do.
Yeah. Stalker technically pops out on the wrong side, but there's so few Marines it didn't end up really mattering. The Zealots definitely did its job and more, helping out those probes. Finally died.
Nice focus fire on that one too, by the way. Just kind of like skirting by the Stalker.
This has failed. And if you fail at 2-racks, well, you're usually dead. Against Protoss, against Zerg, against Terran, there's not much hope of recovery.
Oh, unless the Stalker messes up like this.
That's a mistake.
That's a huge snipe.
Bad.
Wait, I thought the SC was going for the... But what? Why?
Well, I don't know why it went to the main. I mean, I guess he's going to be able to scout that the Nexus isn't quite down, and maybe that's going to give him some hope. He's getting a 3rd racks. Not a CC, but it's instantly to a 3rd racks.
I mean, okay, so he's killed. He has, in fairness, killed some probes. So the worker's difference right now, not so crazy. And in any other scenario, like a 3 racks opening, it isn't too insane. This is what you would see something like Jogshi do, but that's more like off the back end of like a CC first. So uThermal's economy is not where it needs to be. It's not where he's going to want it to be. He's getting the CC now, but I just feel like this is set. As much as this doesn't look too different as far as the numbers go, I feel uThermal's massively far behind off this.
Me too. I don't know how the SV managed to get engineer bay down there, but it did. So buys a little more time.
He underestimated him, Zombie Grub. He's like,
apparently.
oh, what a failed 2-racks, what a newbie. Well, let me show you what this newbie can do. Engineer bay block.
The Nexus does go down. It's not too far behind uThermal's own 3rd base, but he's lost a lot of control over this game. When you think in that, like, you know, in any other situation, maybe like a Widow Mine drop would already be on the way. We'd be talking about that, or a stim push. Well, probably not in Van Eye, but still. I mean, now he has nothing. It's all about him defending against Welmu's attack, contain, slight pressure. He's gonna have to burn scans to get any scout information as well, because you didn't open up with a Reaper. I mean, you could maybe like get a Reaper if he was really concerned, but of course that's gonna delete your factory, and I just don't want to do that. This is a bold choice. Luckily, there's something more in the bunker, so they're able to escape.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think 3 stalkers would get too out of hand. This is one of those ones where you just pull like 3 or 5 SCVs. You don't have to really pull too much into it.
Yeah, and it's not like it's followed up by a 4-gate. But uThermal is, he doesn't know 100%, but he's guessing because it looked like Welmu was going to take an expansion. He probably did. Playing very defensive with these 2 turrets. Thinking about maybe a Stargate on the back end of things. It's also cover you in case there are DTs. It'll help out a little bit. But it's going to be a regular opener for Welmu. Blink and a Robo.
I mean, the blink is not so bad. We've seen players just... Oh, actually, cancels the blink. Straight to DTs.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't going to work out. I mean, the blink wasn't going to be used for like an all-in, I'm guessing, because there's a Robo on the way, but the DTs definitely won't do much. And, you know, for instance, if there were Blink Stalkers, you could contain them probably for longer than the DTs are. I mean, if you get to a War Prism and DTs, even if you have like a billion turrets, they can still manage to find something to do. Just because they're so freaking...
Well, I mean, the turrets are down in anticipation of Oracles, right? So he's not screwed. There's a lot of times where like, you just drop those 2 mules, you got no turrets, DTs come to your base, game over.
Yeah.
But uThermal's got a fighting chance even if he doesn't see these coming.
The DT then an Immortal is an interesting decision. You know, I mean, he's worried about drops.
If this was like, you know, PvE, World of Warcraft, this group has a lot of damage in it. It's kind of nice. Okay. But it's not, and it's not going to work out like that. So, I mean, I really... Even if it is, like, okay, let's say you Warp Prisms the Dark Templar to the main, let's say it's also bad enough where uThermal's caught outside of his own base. I mean, there's a lot of ways that maybe these DTs play out really, really well. But I kind of feel like, right now, what I am most scared of is uThermal's relying on 1 force field to keep him safe. And if he misses that force field even slightly, that could be game for him.
Yeah. uThermal, it's a really good opportunity here
Reaper.
To... Yeah, it wasn't like that was a mistake. It might have been purpose, I don't know. But he has an opportunity to kind of contain, to make Welmu kind of sweat here while he gets up his own 3rd base, a starport, all of his upgrades are going to finish as well. Blink probably would have been finished by now, and he would have had a lot more stalkers, and Welmu was probably, you know, he would have been kiting the entire way back home. As Stim wasn't done, he would have gotten a lot of damage probably, but with the DTs, Zerva's gonna go down. Zerva went down. There's 2 DTs. They could target down the missile turret, and then, you know, start wrecking the SCV line. There's just not a lot of units here to help. Oh god, but they're just gonna be enough. Yep.
Yeah, I like the scan. Really great use of the Marauder too. I mean, Custer Shell's perfect for that situation.
Yeah, that was not a good follow-up from Welmu. I mean, he took a chance, as you always do when you go DTs, but uThermal was already taking Oracles and as such DTs into account by building those missile turrets. And now it's looking like a regular TVP. I mean, the 3rd base is a little bit faster for uThermal, but Welmu's on his way. He's got Colossus. The upgrades are in favor of the Terran. A little bit of a difference, but that's a couple of chrono boosts away from being even.
No. I mean, the problem, right, with DTs for the rest of is the fact that they will be here for the rest of the game. I know you've probably experienced this, I know most Terran players have experienced this, but like, the worst thing does come later when you're fighting the big army and you don't really notice the DTs woven in there. It's not a lot, but it's usually like 1 or 2, and you're just like bleeding out units that you shouldn't lose, and oh, they could just be such a pain in the ass to deal with as time goes on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna bother dropping here to take care of the pylon and the probe. Opens up more attack paths later on. Hopefully Welmu won't remember, for instance. Wood mines being produced. They don't help out that much against Colossus and Blink Stalkers, but it's potential that they get a couple of shots.
It's just funny seeing uThermal go for Widow Mines, period.
Oh, because he doesn't get him into easy.
Yeah.
It's true. Blink, okay, there it is. I was wondering. And he does remember to get it. It's absolutely crucial when you go for Colossus. The drop.
This caught him off guard. Welmu's nowhere close to his base.
He did not expect it.
Oh, is he getting a big recall? It's gonna focus up on the Colossus. That was a mistake on a Welmu. Suddenly this train goes from, like, okay, completely off guard to driving him back. But I mean, one of the medevac gets out alive with his cargo intact. A Colossus falls and kills some probes. That, I would say, by all means, that was a good drop.
Apparently a couple of units try to do something.
Where did he come from?
I don't know, he ran up there.
Secret agent man.
Apparently. But uThermal's did a really great job recovering from, you know, the 2-racks. I mean, he killed a couple of probes with it, but I mean, to be actually in like a pretty dominating position where he has now control over the map and like really good SCV counts, and Welmu, despite having a third, is only at 45, 44 as he's getting dropped right now at the natural. He's losing out on his probes. He feels like he needs to all in.
But this is where I'm kind of like, this is what I expected to see more so in that Bly series, right? Rather than like these really wimpy all-ins, just the 2-racks that leads into the macro game. Now, there's the attack, and it's going to be a weirdly phrased, but a bit of a base trade. One of mine's going down the middle line, so...
Oh, God.
Boom!
Oh, man. Well, that was good. Gonna heavily reduce the reinforcements, but it's not so much the reinforcements that are scary right now, it's the lack of Vikings. There's only 2 Colossus, but it's still a very marine-heavy army.
If a one of mine goes off on it, though, if we can get their shields down, if the Marauders get to connect... I mean, the Stalkers are a non-issue when it's just Stalkers. But the One of Mine's more on the front line. Not going to get the Colossus with the One of Mine, but he does get it with that last Viking shot. uThermal's starting to stabilize. I mean, he does have double the workers of his opponent. He's got mules over his opponents. I feel like as long as he just runs away, builds up his forces, maybe pulls a base worth of SCVs, he should be able to clean this up. Because for Welmu's sake, he's lost so much back at home. There is no recovery process for Welmu. This is do or die right here. And it looks like the Colossus is going to go down. Might mean he does in fact die.
Oh god, he's not targeting the Vikings. Okay, so the Colossus goes down. The 2 Vikings aren't that useful. You know, they're going to land. And that Immortal still helping out a lot versus the Marauders that are popping out one by one. And he is on top of production. He might just do it without Colossus.
GG.
Thermal GG's.
That came down a lot tighter, a lot closer to the wire than I thought it was going to. And I thoroughly enjoyed that game. So I give that like 2 thumbs up, Rifkin Styles. But, yeah, game 1 going to go to Welmu. Now, of course, again, I would like to stress, if anyone's just tuning in, this is the losers match of the group. So,